There are things we can do. We bring it good news and we give it to you. We touch it for podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Qualify people who waiting to serve. The blessing that time and the efforts are rest. The brothers giving us here and the promise of them. The welcome and life we have here.
I lyrical health.
Master.
Play body so make you I can't Sktv menu. Say my journey, Tina get I say my jamo. And yes I know money, the more I get you. And you love the more I get you.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grandbaza.
And I didn't ya to money, and I sang ya to money, and I couldn't play ya to money, and I could do ya to money, and I didn't ya to money, and I sang ya to money, and I couldn't play ya to money, and I could do ya to money, and I don't get it now ya to money. That's the baby, and I don't get it now. So she work on my ya to money. Yeah.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grandbaza.
There are things we can do. We bring it good news and we give it to you. We touch it for podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Qualify people who waiting to serve. The flesh, the time and the efforts are rest. The broadcast we giving a real and the promise from best. The work with my life with us, yeah. From Grandfather, Nima to Lufa. From Riverside, River G to Chile. From Grand Crew, Bombing, Kidman, Montserrat, San to Bacalu. From Maryland, Bonk to the Mikey B. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa.
Let me say this to our NTA drivers. Anytime when you are driving, it's better that you follow all of these radio stations, follow most of the radio stations so that you'll be able to get out of the happening because it's sometimes, even the major station that you want to maybe quote unquote that you see that you love so dearly, sometimes some of the station may be off. So it's good that you be between time and, you follow. So again, I know you will not want to follow some of the quote unquote stations that you think that they are against. One thing I like about life, when you are in that that time, someone will call or someone will say when you're part of that group, then you can use all the kind of talk that you think that you want to use. Yeah, yesterday we were for when they were seeking power, when they were looking for all of their way of getting to positions. Yesterday, the same station, yesterday was used. So many people was on this station propagating the ills. Sometimes they say, hey, you propagate this word that some of you uses. You don't even know the meaning, the terminology, the way to use these words, but you just use them. Oh, you are propaganda. Oh, you can even be propaganda. In fact, propaganda is for God. You can even do anything that you think that you can do in the rightful way. How well are you in fact putting these things to their rightful way? I don't want to speak that kind of way that some of you can speak because that's what the politicians like. They like the BB voice when you put them together. Then the marketeers who are protesting today, who don't, and they are confused. But again, people, good evening. Good evening. Today is Wednesday, the 3rd of December. For a matter of fact, today is the 3rd of December. How many more days are going to 2025? So we have 31 days We took out 3 days. How many more days remain? Those of you who are mathematicians, you not say understand. So you have what? You have 28 days, right? Good. 28, 29, 30, 31, right? So we have 28 days to go. And we'll be saying bye-bye to the month, to the year of, in fact, 2025, right? The year 2025, we'll be saying bye-bye to 2025, and we'll be welcoming 2026. So time waits for no man. That's why when you're on this earth, you do everything possible. You know, the book of Ecclesiastes. Yeah. Anyway, let's share the show. The show will be interesting. The show will be hot. Let me see quickly. Let me look for something. So kind of audio I want to play here quickly. But yeah, let me see the audio. But share the show. Those of you who are watching and following us, please share the show. Let me see quickly. Let me play this. Coming from Honorable Musa has some ability. They some of you, life is not easy, but God is there. Let me play this one quickly while we do the sharing of the show. Share the show, people. It's indeed interesting. Red light was the place to be on today. So many things happening today in red light. The marketeers of the fish sellers, or what you may call the Petty Traders Association today. They were disappointed in their own people, in own government, the security officers. They are probably in fact how you may call that's supposed to be protected. But we'll also talk about that. But let me just play this audio while we do the sharing of the show.
To the pastors, to our mothers and fathers, to the CMC officials, today for a very long time, I must admit, I've come to church in Nimba and I feel very, very welcome. And for those of you who don't know me, and for our people of Nimba, especially the Christian community of Liberia, you do not owe me anything. I'm the one who owed you a whole lot. The church educated me. I got my education in the church. I've had 28 years of peaceful marriage, thanks to a Christian wife that I married in the church 28 years ago. So whenever I come, don't ever think that if I do something, I'm just paying you for what you have done in my life. I can never do anything to harm any Christian. The food I eat, the woman who takes care of me for 28 years of my life is a Christian and remains a Christian. I've been married once in my life. I got married in the church. I cannot harm my wife. For 28 years, I've never asked my wife one day to be a Muslim. If I cannot convince my wife to be a Muslim, I want you to know that I am not able to tell you to be a Muslim. I cannot. We are in a situation in our country where those who continue to take the country money and misuse it, we look at those of us who work hard to change our people's life, and the only thing they see is tribe and religion so that they can make you afraid of us. But I want to thank the church for not only inviting me, but for giving me the honor of gifting me. And I will remember it for a long, long time to come. And I promise, my wife is traveling. I promise when she comes back, she and I will visit this church. I believe we are in the house of God. No one should say anything against God's creation. I am God's creation. My child was not a choice that I made. And my child was not created by no one other than God. And therefore, it should not be a point to change the life of the people of Nimba. God uses me to go beyond my district, to do things that will change people's life.
Wonderful. That's good. Honorable Musa Hassan Belete, this your statement for some of us who have been with you for the past 12 years. Hopefully by February 8, 2026, we'll be making some of us 13 years working with Honorable Musa Hassan Belete, especially his entity headed by his own son or Belete, who also, in fact, spent all of his life and schooling and everything in the U.S. in fact going to church back to back. And for a matter of fact, almost 98% of the work folks here who are in fact, those of us who are contributing to the growth and development of our country also come from, or in fact, that come from the station. We are all Christians. In fact, we are from different, let me say, from different tribes. So, but for me, some of us would have been insulted. People insult us. It's their right, but they don't really know where their right ends. And that's the thing with life. You insulting me because I work for someone, quote unquote, who you claim that you think, and one statement you just made that I'm not the one that created the religion or even the trap. They even talk about the trap today. But again, people, good evening, welcome. Monk is here already. Mr. Dollar is also here. Today the show will be interesting. Monk and Mr. Dollar, let me say good evening and welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Sktv show.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mabon. I'm very much delighted to be with you tonight. As usual, I normally don't come on Wednesday to top show, but
Very surprised.
I decided to come on today because I have a lot of serious turning issue that I would like to discuss this with you guys. And thank you very much for allowing me to be here tonight.
Wonderful. My dear brother Monk, good evening.
What's up, Mayborn? Hi to the listening audience. Today's Wednesday, the 3rd of December. The month is creeping by. By the time we get into the next week, you will be getting closer to the middle of the month and the end of the year, final month of the year. The Gregorian calendar says we are in the 12th month of the year, and that's it. We'll be looking forward to 2026. But we got a lot to discuss today. We're going to, I think it seems like chairmanability is like the lone wolf crying in the desert in terms of the opposition. He's in the news, literally on everything. He's keeping the government feet to the fire. And he's a lawmaker as well. So he's doing his role as oversight. This $360 million of so-called public-private partnership. I think something popped up in the front page Africa story concerning that. I think he officially wrote the Senate. It's the same old thing about skipping the House and taking things to the Senate when, in fact, the standard operating procedures was to originate or start in the House. But for some reason, but we'll go deep into that as well. And the same back and forth between chairmanability and DeLong. And I said it yesterday, the people who choose to be media practitioners, journalists, when you want to be a journalist, you should do your due diligence. Be able to do research, be able to ask tough questions, understand the premise of an argument. Whenever someone, maybe when you watch a speech or politician, when they are talking, it doesn't matter how many hours they keep talking for, right? They at the end of the day, it's one message they are trying to get through. And when you understand that message, then it becomes easier for you to know what they are talking about. If you cannot get the overall message they are trying to send, then it means no matter how long they talk, you won't understand the premise of their argument. And DeLong did a lot of contortion. I call it, the English book call it contortionism. You kept flipping over and changing position, and not a single one of them were able to call him out. I don't know how a bunch of journalists can sit before a senator. He talks for like 30 minutes, and you still cannot grab the argument. I mean, the legal argument or the premise of the case he was making without asking the tough question. But we'll go into that as well. So those were the two stories. I mean, maybe I think we'll talk about, and I don't know. I saw something from Red Light. I didn't follow that story about some woman. I saw angry mob on the streets, and I don't know, but I'm not going to talk about that because I have no idea what transpired.
Yeah. So Mark, I will chip into that, but quickly to that, let me just say yes. In fact, some of the things that happen is that most of the politicians, especially the newspapers, for example, Senator Darius, whenever they call the press, for some kind of more press engagements, sometimes even the way they start with intimidations, I feel sorry for our reporters. Let me be frank, especially those are our reporters who are also assigned at these various places, More for me, it's just so difficult sometimes to just talk some of these things maybe on the air, but Monk it is indeed quite frustrating that even the mess started intimidating them already. If you go back to the entire press conference or the entire interview, Senator Dawes did not started making mockery out of them. But just because he feel that maybe at the end of the day, he have complete control. So any other thing that you want to say, any other thing that you want to do, that when you will do. And my brother, that's the kind of society that we find ourselves in. That's why today this.
No, wait. Let me hold you right there. When you say intimidating and making a mockery, what do you mean? Well, I mean pulling in layman terms. So the average person listening to the SKTV.
So, for example, when you call the media maybe for press conference, and you start to say, oh, when you come here, some of the things you can recall, some of the things you can say, some of you can go on the radio, you talk all kinds of things. My brother, you now start to wage war against the media. I don't think that was the purpose of your press conference. So to start to tell people that, oh yeah, you know, some of you, yeah, you're not like us. Some of you, yeah, you can just record any kind of thing and carry on. No. So, Monk, I see some of these things as complete intimidations. So that's why sometimes when the press conference are called, sometimes, in fact, sometimes they will choose which type of question for you to ask. Monk, it is indeed frustrating because there's no support for the media. So at the end of the day, Monk, you don't want to be a son somewhere where you and maybe some kind of newsmaker or some kind of a power that be, you'll be having tussle, you'll be having issues, you'll be having a problem, and at the same time, sometimes maybe your own institutions not even supporting you fully or 100%. So what's going to happen, Monk? You're going to succumb. And that's the kind of thing for us, I mean, maybe frank.
Well, I don't know. It's up to the. I don't know why when you say intimidation, because I know even in media they are protected by the Constitution in Liberia. They are the fourth estate. They are the one giving that constitutional authority as well. Then they are at liberty to report the news. But sometimes when you engage, I think I watched that video, and when you engage in yellow journalism, then it becomes a problem also. So I don't have problem when lawmakers keep calling it out, because for some of them they are, you know, like I said, it all depends what you choose to do. Or some of the media practitioners, they are bought and paid for when they come on the radio or they are reporting. The story is totally different from what they report to the public. And I think he called one of them on that. I listened to that, where in the airline was totally different from the content of his own article that he wrote. So for me, I'm not here to play quarterback for Dylan. All I'm saying is, some of you in the media, you shouldn't be involved in yellow journalism. You got to give the fact. Don't try to play politics with the fact. Let the public decide. Give the news, become unbiased, give the news as it is. But when you try to gain favor, when you try to twist the angle of the narrative, then it becomes an issue. So I think that's why he called on. I don't know. Maybe there are other things that go on behind the scene that I'm not fully aware of. But from the instances that he gave, I think he was right by saying that. And I will admonish those journalists to do their work and to ask tough questions, because that's why you are there for. That's the primary.
So Mark, to that, I mean, before other people come in, I understand sometimes maybe you want to also behave like Donald Trump, but I don't think that's the right, because Donald Trump issue is far different, because you don't want to go that way. Now, even for that, okay, yes, other people have their own way of telling stories, maybe some kind of radio station, maybe some kind of newspaper that you may maybe come across, and maybe some of the headlines or not really maybe to what he said or something. No, it's good. It is his right. More, like he stated. It is his right, because even in journalism, we are totally against blackmailing. So if, like for example, you have some kind of thing on this video, I've been with SKTV for the past almost 3 years, going to almost 4 years. So if there are issues, maybe some kind of a thing that we say here, or maybe that we do here, and maybe say that was, you know, on the rest of the newsmaker, maybe who name may be mentioned, and they have issues. The best thing is send a communication to the network, send a communication to PUL, and be able, if you want to go to court, you go to court. It is your right. But they make it look like, you know, they just want to bully. For me, I think I see that some of these things have been complete. Maybe they just want to bully it, and they just want to load that on the media. For me, I see it, because more, you can be having issues, then you are not taking your issue the right way, but because you call for one press conference, people go there and start to make statements. So for me, that from that backdrop, I try to speak from to make things look like, in fact, we may say that our people, because of the kind of more poor system, the kind of more way that politicians, more, the reason why we reach to the level today in this life is because of the media. Even if I'm able today, when I live from the media scene, I will respect the media 100%. If nothing else, that may have maybe someone would say that may progress, or maybe that may haven't grown, or maybe something grow. The media has opened the eyes of the Liberian people. So you gotta respect. Well, go ahead, my people. Brother Ali, good evening and welcome. And I think Mr. Dollar, you're on, but later on you slip out. Well, Brother Ali, good evening.
Good afternoon from my end, Maybon. Good afternoon, Mom. Good afternoon, Mr. Dolly. Good afternoon to our listening audience and followers. Glad to be here again this afternoon. How's Mama Labiro?
Well, we are okay. We are okay, my brother. Maybe you want to chip in quickly, maybe 1 minute each on the media issue that Monk just brought up about Central Dallas interactions with the media. What your own observations? Is there anything maybe that I want to talk about quickly? Then we transition quickly to our topic because we don't have little time to wait on another thing. Maybe other thing will go on tomorrow. But go ahead.
Yeah, for me, I was just disappointed in the journalist. Yes, because when you go and meet men that day long who have been talking all along here, and you're supposed to ask him those tough questions, which of course they just sat over there, they don't talk at the end of the day, and they shut down the entire press briefing. There were no question that they asked him. I was there, but then why they asking? You with Jacka, you say that the man talk, as soon you finish, and then no question and answer from him. So I was somehow disappointed. Like you said, when he said that, oh yes, or some of you when you come here, or you can carry all kind of recording out there. First of all, those people that they are work. So when they come to you, when you are talking anything, make sure of what you are saying. Because what you say they will carry out there, I think they will just go and carry out story that you didn't say anything about. So you can for me, such a thing you can even say intimidate me on that. Because if you say it, that's the times I will be asking you tough questions. So I can really hear from you. But the whole thing, when I look at it, I just wasted my time because I was expecting at the end of the day for them to do some question and answer it, and I didn't see anything. So I felt very frustrated by wasting my time to even listen to that thing yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Yeah, Mr. Dollar, go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Dollar.
Yeah, like what Brazilian man said, that many of our journalists in Liberia, they are yellow journalists. So, and it's true. You know what happened if you are a journalist, you are an investigator. Investigator all want to deeper to an issue to get to the bottom of it. But if you go to be a spectators in um, press conference and whatever, then what's the instance of you going there? If you go in there, you're going to execute some fight that will be revealed to the public so people can know what actually is unfolding. But what happened on this year is I don't support any leader, whether Darren Duran or any other leaders in Liberia or anywhere in the world, to bully the media. This old man in America always do it to people. Those media's entity that you don't like them, you always bully them, you always ostracize them and stuff. So I think these are the start that some of our so-called politicians want to start with it. That's some of the activity that Dara Devan has just started, which is very, very wrong. So the journalists should not be afraid to investigate issue. They should always ask tough questions when they go to meet the leaders are making a press conference. So, and one of the things that the journalists, I think, I believe that they need to do before you go to any press conference, you must know the topics of that press conference. So you will prepare your question based on that topic. So that's a fact, and I think that's one that you guys
Well, thank you.
need
Thank you,
to
Mr.
do.
Dollar. So let's move on into our discussion. But before that, your last point about knowing the topic, I think sometimes there can, if I sometimes there, this press conference, there, yeah, there, in fact, as a reporter, sometimes you got to go there quickly to hear what happened because, mind you, there are 103 lawmakers at that same building. So even though the Senate, the one side, and the lawmaker, or in fact, the representatives, they are on the other side. But sometimes you hear that there's press conference pertaining to these issues, and the senators, they are telling. So maybe while you're in the other side, another thing will be happening. So sometimes you may not get out of the maybe the press conference, what the press conference is about, until when you go to that newsmaker, then they will tell you exactly what the press conference is all about, what they want to respond to, and what they want to talk about. But again, I take all of your points. I think the people are listening. But for me, I don't want to accept that it's yellow journalism, because one politician sitting somewhere and just saying something, so that means we want to conclude to say yes, it's true. No, sometimes some of the politicians, let me tell you, even on this show, that will come here to talk about all of the things today. In fact, they even put us on the red line. Mr. Dollar, you are just talking about national issues. But Aliu and Monk, and it wouldn't mean that far different. But they put us on the red line. So for what reason? That's new to them. Just because we're not presenting them, quote unquote, maybe because we're not going to that line, or maybe we're not talking about some of the quote unquote their things, maybe what we're going another way. But for me, I don't want to waste my time on that. Maybe another day we will talk about that. But Mark, let's go back to our topic on today, because I know so many things happening. In fact, you were asking me about the real issue. So let me just bring in quickly in passing, maybe about 1 minute. Yeah, I think sometime between the morning and the afternoon time, there was an incident that occurred in red light. According to our confirmed report, a PCC officer allegedly slapped marketeers, a lady believed to be, 6 months or 7 months old pregnant woman. And based on that, she was unconscious, according to unconfirmed report, and she was taken to GFK for treatment, where she currently responding to treatment. But there was a series of protests in red light. People was, in fact, the marketeers, they were agitating about the behavior of the Painesville City corporations, security officers, the way they behave, the way they treat them, and the way they do things. So far, yes, I think that's one of the major news back home in Liberia. Maybe I want to talk about that quickly, then we'll go to our topic. But so far, so good. That's one of the major news. And the president of the Republic of Liberia, in fact, is out of the country. He go to Nigeria again. Somebody will say, well, how can the president, after his cabinet meeting, is now out of the country, but the president is in Nigeria, or in fact, he's gone to Nigeria, where he will be there for, I think, either 1 or 2 days on some international activity. So, yeah, so far, so good, Mark. But Aliu and Mr. Dollar, these are some of the happening back home. Our president is not in the country, is out of the country.
Right. Can I comment on both, if possible? Hello?
Yeah, so I want for Ali to come, sorry, for more to come on first, Aliu, then you, Mr. Dollar. Now just do it,
All
like I say, you want to chip in on all of the happening that I just talked about. But
problem.
you go ahead, Mr. Dollar.
Let monk come. Then Ali, then I will.
Well, let me. As scenario, you gotta go for you the old hand. So you didn't want that.
Thank you. You go ahead, Mr. Dollar. Sorry, you go ahead.
Follow.
All right, no problem. Since you people giving me that, I appreciate it. Listen, to be realistic, we said it the last time that the way our city police are behaving is very, very serious, and some serious action need to be taken. There's no right given to any law enforcer to beat on anybody, no matter what kind of crime the person commit. You can only fight someone in self-defense, but you cannot beat somebody being sent because you are aggravated or the person making you angry. If you are a law enforcer, you should be expecting uh, insult, not assault. Nobody should put their hand on you, but they can cause you, they can cause every part of your body. So, Lord, you are a law enforcer. But I don't know what prompted him to slap the pregnant woman, more especially somebody who in such a condition. I think the city mayor of Painesville need to take some action on that. The leaving of our presidents to Nigeria. I'm not certain of the on the ground information we are getting. I don't know how true it is or false, but it's a rumor. Every rumor in Liberia sometimes can be true. The president of Temple Senate have already left. Nyombli Kanga, they have gone. And the president followed today. The information we got that they go in there to make some uh, arrangement for the all black that they want to give it up to that Nigerian man. Whether it's in the interest of the Liberian people or in the interest of their individuals, God knows. But that's some of the information we are getting on the cover. I hope that trip to Nigeria should base on the interest of the Liberian people. You see, the reason why our leaders there are taking so great disadvantage over our people in that country is simply because when they do anything, when they leave the power, they can be prosecuted. Look at what happening to Joe Weir and his surrogate. They did all kinds of nasty things and they're going free, scot free. Nothing happening to them. If Joe Weir and his people then was basically in the court defending themselves, I think these people will take a serious precaution on that. They say, well, the same thing that happened to Peter Brown, it could happen to John Brown, but nothing like that. So the Liberian people need to really wake up. That's what I can say. Otherwise, the old man don't care. To be very frank, he got nothing to lose. Whether you win next election or you didn't win next election, you got nothing to lose. Let me make that.
Well, thank you, Mr. Dollar. Yes, Mark, what say you quickly?
Well, I can speak to that because I have no idea. I know the old hands say they got some intel concerning the president trip. The only thing that I know, whenever the president leave the country, is also a money-making venture for them. Just traveling out of the country alone, they're getting their allowances and their stipend going out of the country. So whether they come back with result or not, the fact that they will even leave the country is considered an international trip, and you're getting more money from that. Maybe tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's just part of the office budget of the president. And this whole idea that one thing that I'm yet to buy, and somebody need to test it, the constitutional limit when it comes to the power and the interpretation of the Constitution. The idea that a president can do anything and walk scot-free because he was never impeached. I don't buy that idea.
It's in Article 66.
Yeah, the reason I don't buy that idea because we saw it.
Or Article 66.
That idea, that concept, someone need to test it before the Supreme Court, because I know that idea. The Constitution of Liberia is it's almost like a carbon copy of the U.S. The only difference is our Constitution is now well detailed in terms of the volume, right? In terms of the law, because the people that left from here, they just copy a portion of the people's Constitution from here and carry to Liberia and say it's our Constitution. The one thing that I know, president don't walk scot-free. It means that you can just commit a crime and walk away with it. They say when the president make a decision while in office, you cannot question that particular authority because it was tested in America before. We saw it on TV when Donald Trump called for the January 6th protest to protest the counting of the electoral vote. People say, oh, he should be protected. The Supreme Court said, hell no. When you call for a protest, it's a First Amendment right that is protected by the Constitution, and you cannot question the president's decision why he took decision in office, because if you set that precedent, then every time a president make a decision, someone will come and challenge it. So the idea in Liberia that you can just steal millions of dollars and walk scot-free because you were never impeached, I really, really don't want to buy it, because I know that idea came from the U.S. and that's not how the Constitution of the U.S. interprets such a provision. So I'm praying one day that a president will grow the balls enough to challenge the Supreme Court on this particular interpretation.
But so you are saying that more when you go back to Article 61 of the Liberian Constitution, it said it grants a president immunity from suits, actions, or proceedings while in office for acts performed under the Constitution or other laws. However,
that legal immunity. Go ahead.
Yes, in fact, more quickly, they said that, however, that means, I think there's a conjunction, right? However,
go ahead, read it.
This immunity does not apply after removal from office, at which point the individual can be prosecuted for any crimes committed during their presidencies, military were in office, blah blah blah. But I will go more to that. But I think you're quite correct. It's just about copy and paste the entire constitution. But at the end of the day, we're just wrongly using things. But go ahead,
go ahead. I mean, so which one you wanted to start out? I mean, start out with the reduction of the lawmaker salary, because the Dillon thing is very, very in depth, and we will give you all the talking point that Dillon gave, because I think he's trying to play defense for something that is indefensible by virtue of the Constitution. And like I said, the people that were there, they never did their due diligence in questioning him, because Dillon kept removing the goalposts and not a single one of them were able to identify the game he was playing. I mean, I have no problem against the senator, but when you want to play games, then you got to be very good at playing the games. But not everybody will fall for the rhetorics and all the movement of the goalposts. So we will be here today to tell our people some of the lazy argument that Dillon made in that particular interview. And we
I like that, Mark. Some of the lazy argument. You know, these are statements on that, Mark, that when the media, or maybe some of the print media, the newspaper, when they put some of these kind of headlines, they feel that we're against it. That's what you just saying. Some of the lazy words. Well, but Ali, what's the end of it quickly, but Ali, before we go into our topic?
No, nothing. Excuse me, nothing much. We are just here, like you said. The president left the country again, and what Mr. Dolly just said, I'm somewhat agree with Mr. Dolly in some line, because the president just been in, I think he was in Nigeria again for something, and now he's going back, and we hearing about the Ato Izil, this oil something, and anything the president get interest in, it must pass. Like everybody talking about that, or that deal with Ato Izil, everybody that we saw what happened recently, everybody were talking about ArcelorMittal, they were talking, and the president, he's someone that he doesn't care. You talk, he even said want to know why he want to do that, what he will do. And he just went France, all the things they were talking about ArcelorMittal, this and that, and he went there, he did what he's supposed to do, and he came back. So the same thing with the all deal. All the noise they cause it in the hotel for Natikufa and other people, they talking this and that. You just watch the process and see. The president go to Nigeria. When he come back, that's a done deal. So that's just it. And maybe that's the other development he will bring back to the country. Oh yes, they already finished with the oil business in Nigeria. So lawmaker, then what you're doing now, you will be on your own. I surely believe these are some of the issues he went on. That's the engagement there. Because when Mr. Dollar said, I heard the same thing, and he the third person say, I heard it from. So, but we wait and see. I know Mr. Bakai for that. And that issue about what happened in real, when I witnessed it this morning, I don't know why they too much lawlessness is in the country. Everybody want to take law into their hand. And I will always say it, when the president does not respect the rule of law, he see himself as law and gospel. He breaking all the laws in the country. Children learn from their parents. So that's why you see people doing. If the president cannot respect the law, so everybody will take law into their hand. Or city police going to slap somebody, pregnant woman, or allegedly slapping her or stepping into her stomach, as we heard this morning. Why should you really do that? Why if it was your wife? Why if it was your daughter? Why if it was your sister? Empathizing, how will you feel for another man to go step your wife in her stomach while she's pregnant, or slap her? Do it to your sister or your daughter. I don't really know why those people, some of them are losing their senses. I don't know they are power drunk or what. I don't know. Well, thank God she's recovering. I saw your post and I was following some other stories surrounding her. Thank God for that. But that's a good lawsuit. If we had a country that get a good justice system, you dare put him on my wife like that in that condition. That's a good lawsuit. But that's
wonderful. That's a good lawsuit. We don't know how that's going to play. Sometimes when this thing happens, they say, but we'll send you in the street to go and sell. And also because of the bioeconomy, that's why people are struggling. In fact, it's a fake setup. Can you imagine? And in fact, other people are also saying that if I allegedly though, that she also, in fact, she connected to one army personnel, sojamen, and so forth. But we are still here to get all of the facts, all of the information surrounding where she comes from, where she lives, and who she connected to. But I think Ali just knew everything. That's just so annoying on a very serious note that because of the bad economy. That's why you see someone selling fake who will be pregnant and be having money or maybe having little thing to do. They want to go and sell fish. So sometimes some of these security officers, they just tell the person talk about the behavior of the security officers. Not even 24 hours. They just proving themselves that yes, indeed, there's a person what you are saying is just your own. What we will do is our own. That in fact will tell you that in fact this country will do anything that we want to do. But again, that's a society, and But Mark, let's move straight into our discussion for today. After nearly 5 years, is that 5 years or 6 years collecting all of the huge sum of money, salaries back to back, and pushing for salary and reductions. Some will say it's the same way people call it homologizations. Now we tell it that way and say at long last, the House of Senate or the legislature, they want to homologize their salary. Would that be possible? That's the question, because there are so many reactions, so many confrontations, so many disagreements now among the lawmakers as to who allow this to happen. Because some of them are also complaining that there are some executive officials who are making 15,000 allegedly. For example, the LEC boss carries something around 15,000 allegedly. The central bank governor allegedly also carrying 15,000, according to confirmed reports. The UL president, according to SUP, also they said that their president also makes something around 15,000. And how come the lawmakers who are making 8,000, they now want to cut their salaries? Here where we go to the people. So more. Let's move on straight into our discussion. I think you have all of the things there before you go ahead, my brother. And then we will ask all of our panelists on the issue.
Well, of all the things that have been happening in the country, I think this is one of the things that I agree with Dylan on 100%. When it comes to the statute of limitation to prosecute corrupt individuals and the whole thing about salary reduction, because that bill has been sitting since 2020. It's been 5 years, right? And no, the Senate cannot take up that bill. But when Dylan was having his little press conference with the media, I think it's something that I agree with him on again when he said Chairman Belite should step up. And you don't need to be president to call for a salary reduction, or when it comes to statute of limitation, you already are sitting lawmaker. I mean, you can mobilize some lawmakers in the House because this thing has been before the Senate and it's been 5 years. It was just today that Prince Moore even decided to talk about it. And it makes sense. 37% reduction. And another thing he said it should be a legal framework to standardize. Standardize means it's a particular goal or benchmark that you set that is applicable to everyone. Whether you're in the executive, whether you're a lawmaker, to cut, because these guys are taking home like a killing, my brother. They are taking home a lot of money. Because if the lawmaker will say, we're taking $5,000 across the board, then you're able to cut the deputy or speaker office budget. You can cut the speaker office budget, including the vice president and the president. So I think on this one, Dylan is 100% right by calling for salary reduction. It just requires other lawmakers. I don't know if it will pass the Senate because you could hear the negative feedback from them. Somebody was saying, who is on that bill? I know the possibility of that bill passing in the Senate is going to be tough, but I'm admonishing the people in the House to put the Senate to shame, at least to take on the bill with Chairman Belite. Now, like I said, he's the lone wolf among the opposition, and he's already a setting lawmaker. And the last time I checked, he was the chair on the rule of law caucus. There is where you show rule of law, because salary are also part of the democratic governance process. When you giving people more than what they deserve, is also a form of corruption. Indirectly, it's a form of corruption based on the economic situation in the country, based on the standard of living, inflation. These are things that people look at before they can set wages or salary. In the case of Liberia, like Dylan said, go after a legal framework, standardize it so it can be applicable across the board. And I'm 100% with him on that one. I don't know, maybe Chairman Belite will take the bait and he can keep pushing as well to see if he can put forth.
Yes, more quickly, follow-up question quickly to you, 30 seconds, because Senator Dallas, he's also part of the government, though, and someone will say about Senator Dallas, they don't have all of the lobbyist power for you to go out there to lobby. How can he, in fact, he even crying wolf? Someone will say, Senator Dallas, they don't really sincere into the fight of salary reductions and so forth, Mark?
Well, it's not about being sincere. At least he put them on the spot. The question is, if you got a lawmaker who's pushing for this thing, that's when you start getting phone calls from people in the various congressional districts, including their political leader or their senators and their lawmakers, to follow suit. Because at the end of the day, we're talking about a law here, and it takes a particular number of votes to pass, whether it's in the House or in the Senate. But if a lawmaker will step up to the plate and propose a bill to put on the floor, my brother, what more can I ask for? It takes other lawmakers to take out the bait and say, you know what, we will be on board as to what the man is saying, because the logical thing is a sound thing to do. And matter of fact, where is the pushback from the public? I expect everyone in the country to start putting pressure on that lawmaker to take up the bill. Let me tell you something, Mabel. These are some of the instances in America and other places in the world where the citizens pay attention. Because when you don't support this kind of a bill, that's how you get kicked out of office. So when they are voting, the people, like in America, when they're having a major legislation, the American people got a pen and a paper, they're looking at who is voting for or against, because come election day, you will pay or severe consequences for the decision you will make on a bill like this. So if we will be crying all day and say, oh, the government official, the budget is too big, why will you reject a bill that is proposing a salary reduction?
And more to that, before Mr. Dollar coming, most of the lawmakers, they are also complaining that they receive most of the interactions coming from the people, that in the simplest form, the people go to them by asking them for help, so many things that the people always requesting from them. Now you want to reduce the salary, and which of course, for example, you have the central bank governor who nobody go to him, nobody visit him. In fact, you don't even care to even impact anybody's life, even in the community that you live, according to maybe that they would think. Well, why you want them to reduce their salary more? Maybe because some of the lawmakers now, what they are saying, that they receive all of the people go to them with all of the permit, and from Monday to Friday, all of their offices are always packed. So why you want them to reduce their salary?
Well, that's not a justifiable reason to increase your salary. You are not responsible to pay people school fee, to give money to pregnant women to go and have baby in hospital. That's not your job. The reason it's happening in Liberia because when you create poverty, you who got little resources will pay the price indirectly. When in any great society, right? Nobody goes to a lawmaker and go ask them for school fee or to carry their wife to hospital, because your job is to create a condition where people will fend for themselves. When people are fending for themselves, when they have jobs and opportunity, why make you think someone want to go and go and beg a lawmaker? The reason is like that because that's the kind of a condition we created in Liberia. We took the job from the executive, whether it's from the developmental superintendent, whether it's from the Ministry of Public Works or the Ministry of Rural Development. Lawmakers want to play the role of the executive. So the people believe that you got to give me something in exchange for my vote. That's why they keep begging it. They think that begging will give them political power, but equally so it leaks in your pocket, because it's not your job. Your job is to extend oversight, to play your role as a lawmaker, make laws, hold the executive branch accountable. Your job is not to be Mr. Santa Claus, to be divine candy to people. That's why you guys keep struggling, because you think that it will give you more power, but no, it will give you power, but those same people will come after you because they got to survive also. So it's not a justifiable reason why we should pay.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mark. Yes, indeed. I like that. But Mr. Dora, what say you? Your job, or in fact, the job of the lawmakers is not to put money or to buy baby tops and here and there. Let them reduce their salaries so that at least some of the money, according to Senator Dara, Liberia will be saving close to almost 4 million. But again, that 4 million, if care is not taken, which of course that would be another talking to Mark. Maybe sometimes some of the executive that always control things, they may also misuse the money. But Mr. Dollar, what say you with these salary reductions, harmonizations from the legislature? And do you think that that's going to happen?
Yeah, it's necessary. Like what Mon just said, he said the way I wanted to say it, to be honest. You see, the point of the matter is, if anything is not legally done, it's not done at all. So the attitudes of our lawmakers by looking after people individually from their pocket is wrong. That's not their duty. Their duty is to make sure that they put the law into a place where this particular rule and regulation will benefit the entire citizens of a country. But they are not doing it. they take the responsibility of the executive, like a public works and rural development and so on so far, to to hang on their solos to show themselves as a celebrities in the community. So at the end of the day, if you do that, you drag people into poverty, you have bound to sort out the problem with the people. So that's what happening. So basically, if Daryl Dillon is really serious about this issue, let him put a bill up to reduce the salaries of the lawmaker. Not only the lawmaker, they the so-called directors at the viewer areas that take a huge amount of money, reduce their salary considerably, where this money will be invested into a certain place where the citizens of the country will benefit. So, like LEC, Central Bank, and LPRC, LPNCs, all the kind of stuff and things. Then the managing director and things, they reduce their salary to limit where they can able to survive on. Also, the average civil servant that doing the actual work of the country need to have a living salary that will be able to keep them up for the month. They need to increase their salary and reduce this honorable then in the office doing nothing, only to look at the document and say, okay, you complete it, yes. Okay, pump, you sign it. So they need to reduce their salary to a certain level where they can able to survive on. So all the wasteful spending and things they need to be cut down to be realistic. That's the only way the country will go forward. The citizen will be at ease. So the lawmaker, if they are serious, let him put a bill up to reduce not only to not limited to the law enforcement. I mean to the House of Senate or Parliament or representing entire country's officials, even down to the presidents and the vice president. People's salary need to come down. Liberia is a poor.
But why? But Mr. Dollar not cutting. But why he did already 5 years ago and still catching dust in the Senate.
Yeah. Okay. If he have done it since 5 years ago, and still catching dust. Since 5 years ago, how many times he ever talk about it? He keeps silent. After putting it, when you post something down a month, you need to follow it up. You don't post something in a case and go and lay back. No. If you post something, make sure you follow it up. If you have been making noise the way you're making noise now, I think people will be concerned. The citizen will be concerned, and the even his colleagues there that been keeping silent on it, they were very concerned.
Yes, Mr. Donato, this quickly, if you go back to Article 36 of the Liberia Constitution, also give the legislature, our lawmakers, give them the full power to put the salaries, everything today, or whether they want to increase or they want to have any form of maybe having the salary fixed or anyway, is in the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. How come? In fact, how did we arrive here and that even leading us into poverty today, that we are also struggling to even get this thing done? But apart from the lawmakers, Mr. Dollar, quickly this question to you. There are a lot of government officials from the executive because almost all of the blames have been shifted on the lawmakers. That, oh yeah, they are the one. They're the one that had a problem. They're the one that have to, or the father do the what you have. Government.
I'm not going. Mon, I'm not cutting you up.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Dollar.
I'm not cutting you up. Listen, I am saying this should not be limited to the lawmaker. Across the board, the executive, the judicial should be left alone, because the judicial is a very sensitive area. When the people are not getting something to sustain themselves properly, they were involving they kind of dubious act on a gavel. You understand what I'm saying? But there should be a watch door to watch them up on every single cases that the conduct or the make a decision on it should be pre-investigated by the watchdog to know whether they didn't play any foul play. If the any a lawyer or a judge having to be caught or playing foul should be disgraced and removed from the position. That's what just should be established. But their salary should be unique one where they will be able to take a sound decision. Because but the executive, the minister, the directors, the senator,
Those ones are
representative,
making
their salary,
15,000
eh?
USD per month.
That's what I'm telling you. The minister, the directors, and things, their salary, if they can bring it down to 5,000, I think that's enough for anybody in Liberia. US dollar 5,000 is enough.
So,
It's enough.
All right, Mr. Dola, thank you. Let's move to we'll talk about. I think we have roughly about 5 more minutes. Then we will be leaving the radio. I will leave the show with the 3 of you so that at least you can hold on up to the time. And if we don't want to go off while we go for the news break, I think that's a new thing that we'll be doing now. At least so that you people can be discussing with our other people who are also watching, and later on we'll join you after the news break. But Ali, let's move on with all of these things. Are we going back to salary organizations? Something is happening. What are you sensing, Brother Ali?
I think we need to go back even beyond salary harmonization. I agree with Mr. Dolly. This thing shouldn't just be about cutting or lawmaker salaries. And what they are talking of representatives should make 5,000, senators should make 8,000. 8,000 is too much for senators. That money too much. Even they are senators, let it be 5,000, 6,000. What they do with 8,000? First of all, they giving you car, they giving you gas slip, they giving you money for scratch card. All the things your salary is supposed to do for you, they are doing everything for you. What the essence of you even said making 8,000 as a senator? And this whole thing about even ministers, directors, all of these people, they should pass the bill in a way that is going to affect everybody. It shouldn't just be lawmaker right now. So why should you be paying lawmaker $5,000 a representative, but you pay a minister 15,000? You pay your director 15,000. What sense is in that? Let everybody's salary be cut down, so let the law take that thing back. That it will affect everybody. It shouldn't just be on the House of Representatives and the senator. No. So you want to be senator, you're making 8,000. You want to be representative, you're making 5,000. Or minister making 15,000. Or director making 12,000, 10,000. For what reason? So it should be harmonized for director or minister or representative or senator or everybody. And down to the president himself. Hey, Liberia, we can't continue to say, oh, Liberia is a rich country, but when they go out there, Liberia is the 8th or 10th poorest nation in the world. Every now and then. And then, I will always say this, even the country they say America is the greatest country in the world. The facilities our government officials are getting in our country, representatives, senators, ministers, 18. Our people not even getting there in this country. And you say America the greatest country. Why they can't even say do for that representative and senator, the poorest country, that what they can do. So for me, I agree with Mr. Dolly. It should go across the board. Director, minister, deputy director, everybody's salary should be cut down in that country. Nobody should exceed $8,000. So for me, I support it. Like I listened to Delon yesterday. He said, Chairman Benete said when he become president, the first thing he will do to cut people's salary down to 500. He asking Chairman Benete to join him in the fight. And something else he talked about yesterday. Let it carry that bill back. Let it include all directors, ministers, deputy director, all of these people. Let it include them there and let it pass it. And it should be something that any government can. It will go back forever and ever. This is what they need to do. It shouldn't be something to say, oh, this is our executive order. So for me, I support it, but that's my own idea, that's my own suggestion. Let it carry back so that everybody will be affected. It shouldn't just be the representative and senator. That's my own take.
Wonderful. Thank you, Brother Ali. I will turn the show over to Mark and you so that you can go on up to 15 minutes. But quickly in passing, yes, indeed. The reason why we are still poor and we continue to swim in poverty is because of the kind of money that we are spending into people. Just imagine by the time people go into some of these positions, remember their lifestyle change. Some of them they have some of the cars All right, that's good. So I'm okay. That's good. Thank God. I'm getting report that our news team, they are saying that we should continue with the news. Sorry, with the show that there will be no news at 7. So people, those of you who are listening to us, we sincerely apologize, and I know you also enjoy. Yeah. So yeah, by 8 o'clock, we'll bring you 45 minutes of news. So yeah, Mark, at least so will be me on the show up to 8 o'clock. So that's the news. Mark, maybe you want to react.
Well, for me, I like to give credit to where credit is due. I'm not saying Dylan is perfect, and there are a lot of things that he and myself disagree on, but we should give credit to where credit is due. The thing is a unanimous consent in Liberia that almost everyone in Liberia believes that our lawmakers are being paid exorbitantly, including other public officials. That's a fact across party line. So the question is, Dylan ran on this issue. That was a central theme of his campaign. He won. And then he followed up with a promise by submitting a bill. What more can you ask for? He even admonished the presiding officer, James Bonny, to submit this bill. It's been catching dust for the past 5 years. Let's look at the legal process. Let's standardize it so it's applicable across every government sector. I mean, what more can you ask for? The question is, when you say you are in a democracy, the problem with Liberia, the people who supposed to put pressure on elected officials, they are not the one interested. Because that's why in America here, the people getting the call hotline. Anytime something pop up in the news, that lawmaker office, the phone will be off the hook. People will be calling day and night until he will take up that issue. The question is, why it cannot happen in Liberia? You want me to believe that one senator in a country, even though everybody believes, even if child in the mothers won't believe that our lawmakers have been paid exorbitantly, do you need one guy to keep pushing that fight for you? Out of 5 million people, you're telling me no one in the country recognizes that we got to do something about this? Do I need to chastise this one lawmaker?
But someone will say, no, I think that started with the harmonization issues, and that were also opposed by the same government that said no need to reduce people's salaries, no need to do that. The best thing you can do is for you to give, to leave it as is and give maybe and create more jobs, more. When you know
the harmonization thing is all about the payroll. It's different from the lawmaker salary and what we are talking about. The harmonization it referred to the people that were put on the payroll between two administrations and how they took the payroll from 45 to 60,000. So at the end of the day, when they couldn't find the money to pay them, they had to cut from other people that were making higher salary to cover other people that they added to the payroll. That one is a whole different thing. I am talking across the board, across all 3 branches of government, the people that are the top of the top. They are making way more. Up country, Liberia cannot be among the 4 highest paying parliament in the whole of Africa. For what reason?
But so we also want to say more. Why are you not also talking about, or maybe why are you not going to the executive, only the legislature? How come? Because
that what they're saying here, that what Dylan is saying, you should standardize it by going by a legal framework. Because when you standardize it, then it's applicable across the board. Whether you're in the judiciary branch, whether you're in the executive, whether you are a lawmaker, it's applicable to everyone. That's why you want to standardize it. That's the argument he's making. So not only the lawmaker, matter of fact, not only the salary, the other perks, the other benefit, the other extra they keep giving to themselves. Maybe when you go by a bill in the legal process, then you can even say look beyond the salary. The issue about the car, all the wasteful spending. How many staff these guys have in their office? How much they taking from the national budget? Because they just increased it from 41.3 to 51.7, right? Almost $10 million. For what? So maybe if we go by the legal process by going to standardize it, then you can say, okay, even the court will go across the board. Now on the salary, we can look at how many people work in your office. We're not about to be paying your cook, your security guard, giving you gas slip, giving you traveling allowance, giving you accidental budget. No, then you can go beyond because that one is codified by law. That's what he's saying. Let the whole country take on this fight. It has nothing to do with party line, whether it's chairmanability, whether it's coming. The one thing everybody in Liberia agree upon is the salary for certain ranking officials in government. They are just way too high. It makes no sense. So there's a national issue, political issue.
All right.
Thank you, Mark. But Ali was in flat. Mr. Dele will come back to you. But Ali, I don't know whether you're done already because you were talking when I interrupted you. But I don't know whether you're done. But it's not easy to have. Yeah.
I just said that, yes, well, just what Monk said, that the same thing, DeLong, he came to power on this, that he was going to make sure they cut down law because salaries and things, because everybody know, yes, lawmakers, they are the one that making huge salary in the country. Yes, we appreciate him for that. He did, he said it, and he fighting for it to be done. It's a good thing. We will commend him for that. But equally so for me, as I said, it should go across the board. It shouldn't just be we looking at lawmakers, but even though yes, we are looking at lawmakers, but we know that.
So when you were to suggest, because Liberians are listening to you, they say yes, our brother Ali is talking. When you were to suggest, how much do you think that the one, maybe our government, the ministers, the deputy, and that of the assistant minister before maybe of, or let's just start with the lawmakers, will go to the government officials, the president, the vice president, the minister, the deputy, and all of the assistant minister before going to direct, or maybe let's just say yes, all of them. How much do you think would be your own, maybe minimum or something?
It come to senator, it come to representative, it come to minister, director, deputy director. Nobody should make above $10,000 in that country. In as much most of those people, they are working, they give them car, they giving them gas, they giving them allowance, they paying their horse girl, paying their horse boy and thing. All of these things, paying their office staff, all of these things, what the essence. So if senator will be making 8,000, and then you get representative making 5,000, then minister director then should go below the line. They shouldn't be above senators and representative. That's it. As far as I'm concerned, nobody should exceed 10,000. So if they can work within that range, they can know how to.
Well, 10,000 say high, Mr.
I said nobody should make above. I said nobody should make above.
Because the lawmakers, they are also talking about 5,000. Now you are talking about 10,000.
I said nobody should make above 10,000.
Yes, that means 10,000. If you say above, then you are not telling us that okay, 10,000 should be the maximum, right?
The maximum, right? Yeah. So within that range, now they can see who can carry 8,000, who can carry 7,000.
Okay, for the president, maybe the president can carry 10,000. Maybe the vice president carry maybe 7,000. Is that what you are saying?
Excluding the president, the vice president. I'm talking about representative, senator, minister, directors, a deputy director, and deputy minister, excluding the president, the vice president, the speaker, and the senate pro tem.
Thank you. Mr. Dora, what say you? Then we'll move straight to maybe to the next because we have so many things. We have the next topic, but let's go on to this because this is indeed interesting.
Yeah, well, what Ali said, you see, nobody should get salaries above 10,000, but excluding the president and the vice president. I don't agree with that. The president should start 10,000 down, not more, because every movement the president do, this is something they call expedite fund to expedite his movement. When the president even doing the country world tour, they got a special budget for that. When the president is traveling for any important issue, they got the money for that. That 10,000 is there to feed his family. I think that should be enough for the president. The vice president should go 8,000. That's my opinion. The senators, the representatives should not exceed 5,000. The minister should not exceed 5,000. The deputy ministers should come down below 5,000. Look here, Liberia is a poor country. Those money need to be invested into certain sensitive areas within the government, like health, road network. All these things they need to be looked into. Education. You understand what I'm saying? So the money that they're taking from this bishop should be invested into this area. People deserve to have a free healthcare system in their country. Liberia is now a big country. The population is very limited. I think the citizens need to enjoy or being a Liberian. More especially the health system need to look after the citizens. They need to invest some of this money into social welfare of our country, to look into some sensitive areas to help the people. Housing. People need to have housings. Those are now having good huge amount of money, like a 5,000 onward, should have a place where they can at least pay something. Government housings, like estate housings and things there. The investment should be done into this area. Take the money from this bishop and invest into this area. At least let people live. How long people can stay on the earth? The short time that you got here, you can enjoy it. Sometimes you don't do good, you go tomorrow. What the people are saying, the region people say, if you don't do good here, you go into hell. Eh? So at least all these things they need to be looked into. That the
One
let
of
the government at least have feeling for our citizens. Let the government have feeling for our citizens. Tell the president take the lead. One thing I
so
want to,
so
I'm
so
really concerned
so Mr.
about. Let
Dada,
me
so
let
Mr.
me
Dada,
let
so
me
Mr.
conclude this.
Dada, to you,
Yeah,
Mr. Dada, to you quickly 30 seconds to you, how much do you think you want your president and that your vice president to
10,000,
be?
10,000, 10,000. I think you
10,000.
heard me.
Okay.
10,000, not more than that. Because what is so much he doing with the money? Because even he want to go right here to the neighboring countryside and to go weed, the government give you money for it. Eh? So what's the
One
point?
of I know
You
Mr. Dada,
understand what
I know
I'm
how you
saying?
feel. Yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
Mr. Dada. We will come
Yeah.
back to
But
you on that. Yes,
I
quickly.
want to
Yeah.
conclude. I want to conclude on something, if you allow me,
Yes,
Mabel.
go ahead.
The organization that came up quite recently, they called them stand. I don't know what was their purpose of coming out. There's a standing issue in our country that they need to stick to it. They don't even talk about it. These are the people that are supposed to be campaigning from door to door, educating the citizens of our country to make sure that to put their love, make their foot on the fires, to reduce their salary and to cut down some of their unnecessary wasteful spending. These are supposed to be the message from them. But I don't know what they were talking. Up to now, I still can't get over it. So I'm gonna get to
Well,
them. I know how to get to. I will get to them. I will ask them,
yeah,
Indo,
thank you, Mr. Dada,
and
because
and,
more
and we will
also
ask them to act if they want to still continue to exist.
I like that because Mark also said that Mark also calling on those voices or those Liberians who think that that in fact that they are realist. Because mind you, though, people think that some of our people they say maybe you don't know I'm a realist. Say you realist. How many things that you ever posted talk about that are not into your interest, but everything that you talk about should be because of your political party. But Mark, let me come back to him and help better. How much, if you were to maybe to be or ask, or maybe for someone to say, okay, much set maybe the minimum, maybe something. How much do you think you want our officials to make more? Because let me be frank, it's because of the money, the free facilities, the free benefits, all of the life that, for example, all of our lawmakers they have duty free here and there. That's why one district we pull out 24 candidates. Sometimes one district will put out 30 candidates to contest into an elections just because of the money, the free benefits, and the corruption or the city, the senator fees, and everything. That's why today people are running into all of the elections. They want to represent their people. Instead of them telling there are people that who want to get rich, they say, no, we want to represent you. But Mark, if you were to be asked, how much do you think you want our officials to make?
Well, I don't know. That's why you got to call lawyers and economists. That's how we set minimum wage. That's how we set salaries. There are so many things that you look at. That's why people like DeLon, like I said, I don't agree with him on a lot of things. I know he can play politics sometimes, but he was right on this one. And it takes an entire nation to get on the train when it comes to the issue of salary. Because the first thing you look at, the cost of living, you look at inflation. Let me tell you, the average Liberia, according to the World Bank, the per capita income, we're talking about on average, in Liberia makes $799. When you divide it by 12 months, it comes to 60 something dollars, and there are 30 days in the month. That's how they came up. That's why World Bank tells you the average Liberian live on less than $2 a day. That's why they came up with that number, because look at the per capita income, right? The thing is, if somebody will live on less than $2 a day in Liberia due to poverty, why would you want to pay somebody above $5,000 or $10,000 in a month? And for the president and vice president, the speaker, these people, they don't have a fixed salary. They got an office budget. That's how they do it. It's not like they say they get a particular paycheck where every month they got a specific amount. So when you standardize it and you bring the economists with the numbers and the legal framework to codify it so that it can be across the board, then you will be able to come up with a reasonable amount. That's how. That's what they call negotiation. The problem is in our country, and that one thing I agree with Delon, the people who sort of be pushing for these things, the people who are being impacted negatively, they don't pay attention to these things. They don't care. They don't make phone calls. They don't put pressure on their own lawmakers. That's why you got congressional district. That's why you got a lawmaker. You call your lawmaker, you petition them, you push them to the wall, and then they will go and put something on the floor for a bill. How can something that the entire country unanimously agree upon, but yet it cannot reach the floor? You think it can happen in any other country in the world? No. If the people want something, the people should be able to get something. But why it cannot happen in Liberia? Because they don't care. They don't pay attention. Matter of fact, there will be somebody that will be playing defense for these lawmakers, even though it impact them. Now, just do basic mathematics. On salary alone, if you do $5,000 across the board, the standard amount, you say, it will save the country $4 million. In government policy, when you're making a projection, you look at anywhere between 5 to 10 years. That's on the salary alone. Why about that office staff? Why about the how do you call it? The excess or the
maintenance,
the traveling allowances, the entertainment budget, the duty free they get to the poor. That another was stealing from the government indirectly. If you put this thing together, if you do across the board cut from the executive, the legislative branch, including up to the president office, you can save like bro more than $30 or $35 million a year just across the board cut across all three branches of government. Now, if you multiply $35 million over 5 or 10 years, you're talking about close to $250 million. That's a lot of money to undertake other projects in the country, whether it's about schools, whether it's about hospital. That's a lot of savings. But the question is, maybe how many people in the country are pushing for these things? Matter of fact, they don't even pay attention. They could care less. And that's why the problem is in Liberia. You got to push for this thing for them to become law and for the lawmaker them to jump on board. But if nobody is paying the consequences, if nobody is paying the pressure, nobody putting pressure on the lawmaker, then most definitely it's not going to live to survive in the Senate or even in the House. That's why it's been catching dust for the past 5 years on the Senate floor. Nobody can take on this particular bill, even though the entire country believes that they are being paid exorbitantly. Make no sense. That's where the problem is.
Indeed, Mark. Let me read this comment coming from the Sidiwan Jebo, and it's quite correct. Our people love campaign songs, t-shirts. They are more, in fact, they pay more attention to parties' headquarters, and that's just the fact. Because Mark, you know, like some of us, we're always responding to some of our people, even on the internet. You know, they call all sorts of names. You know, they insult us. Sometimes go into the inbox, or in fact, they come into our inboxes, and in fact, and they talk. Sometimes we tell them that, look, I don't know about you. I don't know how you're feeling, but even quite recently, I was in fact sometime last evening, we got some report about even the Emory hospitals, how some of the conditions fixed with the hospital there. How will you feel as a citizen that you are empowering people that, for example, among the budget, you have $1.2 billion, but out of the $1.2 billion, you will have $900+ million going to people's pockets, salaries, and so forth. And you think that it's normal, it's good, it's okay just because it is your political party, just because it is your candidate, or just because that person is your person of interest. No. Among into other different, before I go back to Badalu, at the end of the day, they gave our people peanuts. That, look, more be frank. They will collect all of the huge sum of amount, all of the money, and they gave our people peanuts. Someone go to your office there, for example, you give a person $20. More. What that mean? I can visit you, or maybe I go to you more. Instead of you empowering me, or maybe in fact, if I have job to do more, do you think I will go to your office for even $20, or in fact, I even go to your office for money?
Not really. Why would you want to go? People want to fend for themselves. Everybody take pride and dignity in providing for themselves and their family. Nobody want to go to a politician. Nowhere in the world I see people going to a lawmaker to go and pay. When people go into lawmakers, they are carrying a petition. They want something to be done. They ain't go there to go beg for money, for school fees, for medical bill. No. When people go to lawmaker, they want. That's why you see anytime the government pass a bill or a budget, they got something called earmark. People want certain things to come to their district, whether they got road issue or they got problem with their bridge. These are things that people will go and petition the lawmaker for, not to go and beg and to go and beg for anything to benefit them personally. But in the case of Liberia, that's it. And that's some of the reason the lawmaker justify their exorbitant salary and all the extra incentive, because they believe they must cater to you. No. Our people accept peanut. Nobody gave them peanut. They have accepted to be the people who receive the peanut. So the lawmaker, they will play by the tune. That's why they want more money. And I can remember one time, Erin, the former vice president, came to America during the town hall. She talked about a lot of people can be begging, and so they even wanted more salary to cover. I said, no, it's not your job to take care of people. But because of the culture you have created in Liberia, that when you put people in poverty, then you can control them. So the same people you put in poverty now, they are coming to you for the breadcrumbs. And at the end of the day, all the money you're stealing, it won't benefit you because you got to share with people. Because if you are doing what you're supposed to do, nobody will want to wake up. Who in a red man want to leave their family sleeping in the morning to get on car, on a bus to go and see your lawmaker, to go begging for school fee? Do you take pride in doing that?
Even apart from that, even truck people. That's why people have been trucked. Because of all of this kind of system, the way our leaders, the way they manipulate everything, the way they do things. So nothing is coming down to the people. So because of that, you have to now come out and say, okay, maybe you got to pull 50% together. Maybe I need 100%. I'll be having programs. So please make sure that I see people. In fact, I have t-shirts. Let them come. In fact, we get food. Monk. Jesus. But anyway, but I don't know why you want to react to that. Then quickly we'll move on to the issue of the budget. I think that budget thing, I think it have been little, I don't know what they have been settled on because of our year code process. Since that was, we're talking about Honorable Musa Asambelete should take the House of Senate.
That's what we got to court there. Go and take it to the court. And that's the argument. Go and take it to the court.
This issue here, like you just said, I think 2 months ago I saw certain nonsense from DJ Blue. How people say they are making huge salary, and they see people that say they are making huge salary. They don't know how they can divide their salary with their people in their various districts. People will be going for children's school fee, for medical bill. People going sometimes accident or for full money. All of these things. Is that anything to justify why you are taking huge salary? What if you make the education system up to standard, you put money into education, you make sure you put money into healthcare, you create job in agriculture. People are working in the country. Who have time to come to your office to come ask you, say, oh yeah, my dollar gave birth, please help me with baby diaper money? Who get that to ask you for medical bill? Who get that to ask you for children's school fee? These are things you're supposed to do. And how can you people do this thing is to cut all that wasteful spending if you people rather went to serve your district or the country. You get together. Guys, let's see how we can cut down the expenditure that we are carrying on in the country while people are suffering. And direct the money to the rightful area. You think I will be working? I will come to a lawmaker office asking him to pay my wife medical bill or my child school fee? No, but like Monk said, you put the people in a slavery mentality, in a slavery move wherein they will continue coming to be begging you. And that is it. You see, when I said that thing, another guy started to insult me. Why he insulted me was because he can go to the mail to go begging for $20, $25. You see? So when it is your political party, they are doing it, even if it is wrong, you will defend them because it is your political party. You are not thinking about the generation to come, your children, grandchildren tomorrow. Like one time I asked, just say right now, today, I go to bed and wake up tomorrow. The kind of life I'm living, the kind of condition, what become of my children tomorrow? People don't think like that, but we sing praises to political leaders, we enrich them, and we tend to beg God to them. So that's it. We got more to go. Liberia.
Wonderful. Yeah, so more quickly, let's move on with the other one. Yeah, Sheikh Soko, you are quite correct. Sometimes they see us like maybe we don't even know what we are doing. And that's why when we talk, when they go into the press conferences, they say we hear them, the way we talk, the way we do things. But Mark, What say you with the entire budget issue? I think in the direct, even in our same press conference, I think if you listen quietly, you will hear you talking about, even though and this one happened, but we are set to not to waste time, all kinds of things you were trying to say. But for me, I think that's a defeat, and I think the way they were proceeding in the House of Senate to go into the budget hearing, calling for some of the government officials, to come and explain to them. I think that was wrong. But what say you, Mom, before we go to the line?
First of all, I don't know if we even got time to go through this because like so many talking points for nothing between chairmanability, and I can bet if we were to take it to the court, I think chairmanability will come out on top because I know there is nowhere in the world, whether you call it joint committee or joint conference, I know the budget or anything relating to the budget or revenue originate in the House. That's a starting point. I think Sekou made a post, he talked about other words that are synonymous to the word originated. The starting point, the beginning, that's where. I don't know where in or Senate would take on a budget bill claiming that they are doing it in preparation of what the House will do. No, it must start from the House. The House is the one that laid the premise. The first lazy argument Delon made was the argument working on chairmanability about the institutional conflict, and he called it constitutional uncertainty according to his letter, is the fact that the idea here is the ministries, agency, and the state-owned enterprises, they fail to appear before the House. You seen it? But then they opted to sit in a hearing with the Senate. That's the first thing. And all your media people never got that. That's the whole basis for the argument. It's not about who did it first. Yeah, who did it first, or the standard operating procedure, or the order of operation will come later. But the idea is why you failed to sit before a House hearing, but you opted to sit for a Senate hearing. That's the first problem. The second problem is, according to the law, the Senate is only permitted to propose or concur with an amendment to bills. That's the procedure, right? So the law argument was, no, we are preempting, which means we are getting prepared. My brother, you cannot get prepared for something the House is yet to take on. You used to be like the supervisor. You used to be the House of Elder, right? When it comes to budget and anything concerning the budget or revenue, it should originate in the House. Then you can make amendment. Then you can concur. But when he couldn't make that argument, the second lazy argument he made was, we are doing it in anticipation. We are making preparation so that we can't waste time. My brother, we are not fools here. What are you talking about preempting? You don't preempt something that is not done. I mean, I will give you a typical example with the bridge issue, right? The chairmanability submitted a blueprint to the Ministry of, Public Works, right? And Public Works would say, we got to review, to make changes or to make recommendations. You got to meet a certain standard. How can Public Works say they are carrying on a process to preempt the design that chairmanability will give them for a bridge when chairmanability is yet to even give them a blueprint? It make any sense to you? That's the same way with the budget. You cannot say you are making preparation or making a preemptive hearing in preparation for what the House will submit. No, let the House submit first, and then you can take on. Then you can make the amendment, you can make the changes, you can make the proposal. But you cannot be ahead claiming that you want to prepare and you are being preempted. That's a lie. Then another lazy argument he made was, the guy said, the law is an interesting figure. He said, the written communication that came from the president, there were two copies. One was forwarded to the House, and a carbon copy was given to the Senate. So in Delon on the mind, because the president sent two letters to the two separate entities, so he think it gave them the right to act before the House. That's a lie. The president knows that constitutionally, the Senate will still make input to the budget or anything concerning revenue in the bill, right? So just because he sent two letters addressing one to Rachel Cohen and giving one to normally, it does not necessarily mean that you can jump before the House. That's not what it meant. So it was another lazy argument. I expected a question and some pushback from the media, but no, nobody was able to even ask the question. And now when it comes to that process, the House, then he said, there is nothing in the Constitution that gave the House so authority. No, but in the Constitution is explicit that they have that legal authority. So you don't want trying to create ambiguity in the law by saying there is nothing in the law, because the law specifies. If the framework of the law wanted for the Senate to act before the House, they will have made provision in the Constitution. But it is written that it originated from the House. So how can you make the case that
Article 34D?
Article 34D. So every single argument Delon made, it was not rooted in law. He was making up his own interpretation. It does not make sense, and I haven't seen it anywhere around the world. So, but like I said, the people who were supposed to ask the tough question, they never even attempted to ask one single question, and he just got away with everything because he was making reference to 2021 how they went to the Supreme Court. No, that was a different thing. We're talking about contract ratification different from the budget and revenue issue. That one is explicit in the.
I don't even understand more quickly before Mr. Dora comes. I don't even understand why when you're talking about Mr. Benedict trying to have the media attention or maybe the public attention. But Mr. Benedict were right. 100%. So I don't see anything like, Mr. Benedict was maybe quote unquote, or maybe having the media or maybe having the public attention. No. But this is clear. This is clear.
Mebon.
Everything
Go ahead. End the thought. I thought you were done. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, man. But I don't want to say that everything is glaring, even if we go into the Constitution. Article 34.
The third thing he said, the third lazy argument he made was, it happened under Madam Shelley for 12 years. Because we are daily, chastity daily. My brother, tradition is not the same as legality. Just because you have the history of doing something repeatedly does not make it right. If I grew up hearing that my grandfather used to beat his wife, and then I saw my dad beating his wife, it means that I should beating my wife make it legal? No. Just because you have a tradition of doing something, it does not make it right or legal. And that's the argument. And then the other argument he made was, if the sole authority lies with only the house, then why should we be engaging in a joint budget hearing? No, a joint budget hearing is a whole different thing. A joint budget hearing means you are having a hearing in collaboration with the house. That's one thing.
Cool. And the house is supposed to be
the process, so you can do it together. But in the case of the house not acting, you cannot jump before the house claiming that you are being preemptive and you are making preparation before the house. That's a lie, my brother. Anyway, you take that thing, they will beat you.
That's the kind of people that we have, that when you want to question them, then they come back with their the way they want to talk, because they think that they have their followers, their supporters who will come and attack people. But Mr. Dora, anything that you want to say quickly? Maybe.
Yes, definitely. Yes, sure. Really, to be realistic, one month just that's the reality, But the point of the matter is, that's why I always say, when people does not respect the rule of law, these are the beauties of it. From onset, the government we have today on hand, and the past government we have on hand as well, none of them have been there to respect the rule of law. And at the end of the day, the thing that behaving the kind of jungle will go on forever. And at the end of the day, the country will continue to decline. Here is the situation. The laws indicate that every budget hearing should start from the House of Representatives. When they go through it and do all the preliminaries, assessment and stuff and things, and edit it and send it to the Senate for concurring. The Senate is there to concur with the situation. But the Senate has started before the House of Representatives. That is not the law of our country. But their government, to be realistic, have not been there to respect any rule of law. So whatever you see happening today, it should not be surprising to anybody. The only people that can stop this kind of nonsense is the citizens themselves. So one day, the people organize themselves to say, like the organization called STEM and STEAM Dance, and so far and so on. When they organize themselves as a pressure group in the country, these are the 20 issues they need to focus on, not to be cherry picking. Make sure hit the target how you're supposed to be hit, to put the people on the check line. But it's not happening. The Senate have no right, absolutely, under no consequences, that they should start the hearing of the budgets before the representative. No, it's wrong. So even when they go to court, even the judge, Supreme Court or whatever, judicial branch or judicial.
In fact, they've been to court before. I think that was 2019 mark. Because they're not the first time going to court.
But they've been going to court. But anytime the court make any
no, they did it to 2021, and that's why you were trying to reference. But the court ruling in 2021 was far different because it was a whole different issue. It was not about budget issue, it was some contract with I know Bao Chico or whatever.
I know Bao Chu or Bao Chu.
That's a whole different.
But Mom, quite recently, case were in the court make a decision. What the outcome of it? What the people that are supposed to implement the instruction from the judicial, from the legislature, the brain that's supposed to implement, what did they? The old man said he going with the Quran, knowing fully where the Quran was wrong, but he still say he's going with the Quran. That simply means that he decided not to accept the rule of law. So obviously we didn't see any reason. Even Mr. Bailey then go to court, and the court come with a decision. What will happen? This is a country have been very much ruleless. You know, since the overthrowing of the past administration, the second Republic of Liberia, from that time up to present, social jumbo justice have been going on up to present.
Well, thank you, Mr. Dollar. We've got to go to the land, but Ali, any other thing quickly before we go to the land to interact with our people?
No, we can go to the
maybe I will interrupt you a little bit. I'll call Mr. Marlowe. He got something to input on the subject matter.
Okay. Yes, do that, Mark, no problem.
But you can take a call. You can take the first call. After the first call, then I will switch over to Mr. Marlowe.
You say Mark?
I said you can take your first call then while taking the phone call to Mr. Marlowe.
All right, that's good. Yeah, so let's go to the line to interact with our people. To this first caller, good evening.
Good evening,
Yes, my sister, go ahead.
I want to thank you again, Tony, for the discussion. I mean, every time you come on, you bring up real knowledge from me. So all the people can eat. Once they finish eating out, they can change their mind. How come the people can get to that say that they know when they're on their own? People stood in line, people got their sleep. Just put them there. How come? I told him, how will you feel? See your mother cry, your father cry, or people of your age sitting at your gate waiting for you to wake up.
$20 job or $20 business or $5,000 business.
I swear. You think if you just see a company or here, if you're in a $50 somebody making labor, what I can get $50 on time? Why should I go to someone? Because I know I get in the on time, I can even go somewhere and now my child take credit me for I pay you back. But nothing of such. Nothing of such. You take left, you take right, you can see nothing. And then we put them there, they're enjoying themselves, but get to know that they were to us that they went there. But one of these things.
Thank you. The people tell us that everything in our hands. So let's call up. Let me know. Hello?
Yeah, Mr. Marlowe is ready. Okay. After that call up, Mr. Marlowe, then you can.
Yes, go ahead. Yeah, quickly, Mark, hold on. Yeah, go ahead, my brother. Good evening.
My name is Mahmoud Sebi. I'm calling you from Brazil. Last time, I'm a little bit rhetorical in my statement, but I witnessed a movie last night. They call it Hypocrisy. I witnessed it all the way from season 170 to 176. Yeah, in that movie, I saw it. All that you were discussing, I can tell you, it's going to be acted upon. They are all hypocritical action that you see over there. For any other lawmaker for them to agree, they have created themselves, some group they call themselves the Jesus and some are the Satans. Because election period is reaching. So one group is staging it like, well, let us do it this way. Let us do it this way. Let us do it this way. But you will tell you.
So I mean, they are buying time. Are you saying that they are buying time?
No, they are fooling the people, not buying time. They are just creating a scene where some people will just be like, we are in the interest of the people, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And another group will say, if you do that, I will drop, I will put your phone on your phone and all those ones. Because those are not serious discussion. They are not going to go anywhere. To tell you that, follow this, just take this one and copy him. you will call all of those people from the various to come and come to face the House of Representatives. They will not come. You know the reason why? There are some SOP income that come from there is determining how it is used.
But some of them, in fact, some of them are not even contributing to the budget.
Well, I'm trying to say that the income that comes from there, the fund that is generated from there, is then used at the discretion of the office of the president. I'm not saying to any particular president. That's the reason why when things go wrong to some of them, you see the president will say, I take full responsibility. When you go to the act that establishes and all of what is there that fund that come from there is used at the discretion of the president.
All right, thank you, my dear brother.
Mr. Marlo is in the line. Mr. Marlo, you can take over from there.
We do not want to waste Mr. Marlo time. More, go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Marlo, you can take it over.
All right, good afternoon, good morning, wherever.
Please, Mark, increase the. Let me check my side here. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Mr. Marlo is on. You can hear him?
Yeah, but you have to increase your little your volume. Okay, but go ahead. I get
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I think you can hear him. Mr. Marlo be a little bit audible. I think.
How you doing?
We okay?
There's just certain things I wanted to say. You see, in this America, for you in Nigeria, do you know that in the White House, the president got to buy his own food?
Oh yeah.
You know he got to buy his own soap, his own tissue. You know why? If he don't want the American people to tell him how to use his tissue or how to use his soap, he got to buy it himself.
Yeah.
You are accountable to the people for every cent the government spent on you. In our place, we create our own king. Then we run around and say we're poor. Listen, talking about budget and all these kind of things, the leaders not supposed to make more than 5 times the income of the regular person. So if you think it's okay for somebody to live on less than $2, then you can live on $5.
Yep.
If you don't like it, then increase their standard of living. That's the fair way to do it. Besides, we happen to make our people irresponsible. Because we always find excuses for them. A lawmaker will not go and stand up to speak on your behalf and you will not support him. So the issue there is that when he speaks, you got to come out and stand up on the street.
Yep, with him.
But we refuse to do that. Everybody wants to all the people. No one person will do it. If you the people who put the people there, you the people got the power to move them from there. And if you don't move, then sit down and enjoy yourself.
Yep.
All right? So you have a nice day.
Thank you, Mr. Marlo. Thank you for that particular expose. It was great. Yeah, for sure. It's up to the people. If you think then say them that you're talking about one lawmaker, come on.
Well, let's go to the line. The line is busting here. To my water, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, boy. Good afternoon to Monday in the US. My son, boy, they think what you're talking. The whole thing I catch up on the table. That was Dino. That was Dino. See that you do strategy against all Nigerian people. The way you say they go up there, they go making millions of dollars.
The economy was in the, I don't know, the toilet.
The economy was in the toilet. So let me tell you, therefore, when you are what they say, the heart that all pulling me now. No one has brought go to the pool again to vote.
No,
because therefore, it's a waste to us, it's a real waste to us. We vote for people. We can get fat. Look at the way that brought looking. Therefore, my son. The worst woman I ever see in the Republic of Liberia, Joseph Waka woman. The competent people, the educated people that need to rescue us. That's not coming with 419 and the any because they won't stay in power. Nigerians, they don't rise up. They don't rise up against the wicked people. It's better we stay with our talk for no lawmaker, no senator, no president. Then I brought we needed that. Don't take you, neighbor.
Well, thank you. I feel your frustration, but we say I'll go to the pool. Today's caller, good evening.
Yeah, good evening to the panel. I'm Arvin Johnson, currently calling for Grand Gide.
Yes, Arvin, thank you for joining us. Go ahead.
You know, the issue, when they try to outsmart their friend, let the people do just for the oil and blue. Because yesterday, the people brought the harmonization bill, and the brought the harmonization, they try to put it in effect for people to get used to it. The guys that was the one that say, no, it's good for the Liberian people. You can't kind of power and be costing people money. But yesterday, he said you are going to give 5,000 barrels of Maserati. Up to now, we know where the 5,000 gone. And then he coming back now because the election coming closer. It's not expiring. 2 years ago, you are not speaking out. But he knows that now the thing going against him small. He acting like to say the Liberian people stupid. Acting like to say he's talking for the people to say, oh, let's reduce our pay. We'll bring up bill and then we'll reduce our pay. And everybody will get equal money. But the other he's saying the senator that will receive 8,000. And then the real because they will receive 5,000. But yesterday he was calling for them to reduce it to 5,000. So what happened today that he wanted to reduce 8,000 instead of 5,000? So that's how you know that he was tricking, man. And he trying to fool the Liberian people again. They may not happy. You don't want to even cut the pay. But he's just acting smart. Acting like it was just 20. They didn't know what they were doing yesterday when they was calling for harmonization. So if you want harmonization, you put it on an equal scale. All directors you make 3,000. All ministers you make 5,000. They will say you're talking so discreet. But you can't get director and make it 15,000, party on the generator, and loan taking 3,000. Then you come in back to say the senator them will make 8,000. The representative them will make 5,000. That is still money they already making.
Well, they start making the same 15,000 though, according to Martiki and Corey, listed all of their benefits and so forth. But thank you. Yeah. No, the country is just stupid. Thank you. Thank you, my dear brother from Grand Jira. Let me take the other call. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, neighbor. I didn't get you, but something I wanted to add to my discussion. You know, that one has to do with the issue of job creation. You know, to create job in this country, even the government can be past government or this government or future government to create. Let me just give you one typical example. You have even the fire service itself that is here. You see that they invest some money in order to avert some of the fire incident not to happen. So what I will do, every district, I will be able to create the fire depot and then be able to recruit and train a lot of the young guys who will be like on a 3-shift period because you want to give them time for them to go to school. So just almost you have 17 districts. And each one of the depot you get or fire service truck is there, and then you have this number of personnel are there. You reduce that one. You come to other areas like even this sanitation in agriculture and other things. I don't know whether there is any group of people that are really thinking from the time I wish the 1980 pass up to current, everything just been shrinking. Nothing is happening. They have no idea to expand on what to do to create jobs for people in the country.
All right, thank you, my dear brother. Let me take Charles Cooper. Charlie, good evening.
Good evening, neighbor.
But not easy. So the drivers they don't talk about salary. Is that salary organization? But it's not easy. According to some of the information before me here, if you put all of that money together, go back to the same 15,000 that other officials are making.
Okay, neighbor, let me say quickly good evening to the rest of the panelists. You know, they have become like our bread and butter of this show. So some of us, we hadn't missed this show because it's very informative. Yeah, it's an informative show. And it's a show that opens our eyes. But maybe I want to say, if we do not make government unattractive, our lives will never become attractive. Maybe I told someone, I say, if Satan, for instance, if Satan comes and tell you that, oh, heaven is real, so you should stop following me and follow Jesus so you can make it to heaven. Will you not listen to such a message if you want to go to heaven? Will you say because it is Satan that's telling you that message or giving you that message, you will say, so I'm looking at Satan to do the message, so I'm not listening to him? Neighbor, I did support DeLong during the election in the 2020, you know. I even went on radio and campaign for DeLong. But it's not that I'm happy with DeLong right now. Something about DeLong has changed. But why it is true that DeLong may not be that perfect politician, but the message he's giving I think there is about time that all Liberians stand by the law are our own voices, that the salary of the third not politician be reduced drastically. We should support him and let's do.
But what a minute, even talking about the benefits, because what before me here, yeah.
For the reason why I say we should do a modification, like me now from my side, the modification should be including all benefits. The striker whatsoever, it should somewhat to 5,000, not more than 5,000. And the gas whatsoever, it should be included salary, gas, all that benefit. Save the car, for instance, let's go to the vehicle. You don't need to cost salary, but the vehicle issue, we need to set a boundary for vehicle. Can we say that nobody ride more than 20,000 to 25,000 car as a government official? Then maybe the president, vice president, speaker, pro tem, chief justice, deputy speaker, nobody should ride more than 50,000 car. I need 45 for the, the P5 now. Maybe we can say the president, vice president, the speaker, the people should ride me 45, 50,000 car. They should not ride 75, 90,000, 1 million car. So the Liberian people need to do a modification. But we cannot be larger because the message is good. They're not there pushing that message every time.
But people are saying, Charles, quickly before I tell you of it, because you've been one of our regular callers, before I tell you of it, Charles, people are also saying that the message is good, but the message is incomplete. Because what before me here is almost like $7, they don't only 2% for the entire thing. Because if you put everything together, then almost 15,000. So if you say cut 5,000, or maybe reduce it over 5,000, then what happened to the rest of the other benefits and so forth? All right, thank you. The library for the finish supporting you by giving power already. I think that's the best of support that any other person can give to you. But Brother Louis is here already. Louis, good evening.
Good evening, neighbor. How are you doing?
Yeah, my dear brother, we are okay. Thank God for life. I guess you've been following all of the holy and puri.
I want to thank you for your everyday effort, your energy, and your zest to speak to the Liberian people, whether they're listening or not. But at least we can highlight this issue affecting our country. I mean, we break the culture of silence and history. Remember Melbourne Kula tomorrow, even whether they're listening or not. But the first thing I'd like to start with Dillon. Dillon shouldn't be the only reformist. Dillon came with a salary cap of 5,000. If you read that bill in detail, that's why I wanted to, for Monk and myself, to have some interaction tonight. The bill saying the highest public official, not just the Senate. That means Dillon is even saying Senator might make 3,000 or 2,000 because he's saying the president, the cap should be 5,000. Maximum should be not more than 5,000. Public official, the highest shouldn't exceed 5,000. So that means minister them might even come to 1,500 or 1. But the point I'm trying to get, the reform shouldn't only come from Dillon. There are a lot of opposition and rooting in our house. Where Dillon falls short to, you can put forth the bill. That bill been around for almost 4 to 5 years now. It's just picking up again. Where are the others that are there? Sir Joseph, the rest of the other guys are there. Joseph Jala, Nathaniel Manke, Creighton Duncan, Bill Twaway, the rest, rooting and opposition independent, they are there. Every slow, can they formulate on the cartoon like what my brother just said? Say it's 45,000 after every 3 years. Can they say 15? Or everything, all of the RPS can come from one Dillon. Yeah, he might be faking, but he has it on the side too. And to ration the time, I'd like to get to Monk on this. Monk, the question we should be asking as it relates to the public hearing, revenue bill, financial bill, eminent from the house, that's perfect, that's the law. But the first question we should be asking between Bilite and Dillon is that, have the house had any public hearing as regards to the budget? Because our research has been showing from 2021 and even in the past, the fact that the house kickstart it, the Senate can go ahead. The other thing is that the Senate will not concur in the absence of the house. They got to wait for the house to conclude and forward the bill up to them.
All right.
They used to have a joint committee. But yeah, it's a point where we ask, then we will know whether they start before and then month to close up. Those officials that refuse to appear before the house, the house can hire them in contempt.
Oh yeah, that's it. And that was the origin of the whole problem.
To show up with a valid excuse and then go to the Senate budget hearing. The house can have them in contempt and punish them.
All right. Thank you so much, Brother Louis. We got to go. So every time we've been giving you a lot of invitations, but maybe based on your schedule. Yeah, maybe one of these days, Brother Louis will come on the show. Mark, we gotta go. No time. We have probably about 5 more minutes of our time here to go. I think we can use that. You and Mr. Dollar. Mr. Dollar, please imparting quickly. Why don't respond? I'll leave you 1 minute of your time.
Yeah, I would love to make a short comment. You know, I'm now a talkative person. Talking, it can really give me a less tough time. Here's the situation. The guy who spoke before the second guy here, he spoke very well concerning about employment issue. There's an easier way of providing employment for the citizens. But if the ANC is given a chance in the futures by the Liberian people to give the country to ANCs, we have many strategies where we will employ people from every angle of the country. Even the city mayor of every city have a power, a right, or strategies. We got a strategy for that to provide employment for the citizens. There's a many way to have people basis. You can open a very various strategic areas. You build a good, decent government toilet and have some people employed there to monitor the systems, cleaning up and things. There are employment. Same way to the street, there are employment. Different areas that government can involve in to get to make the citizen to be busy. You see why it's happening? Like what happened today to the real life. That monk issue, the citizen taking the law into their own hand. If you were busy working, doing something, that thing that happened between the city police and the woman, you're going to be handled by the national police straight away without the involvement of the public. But because many people are not busy, they are not doing nothing. They're just standing by to roaming around. So no employment. So in short, I'm appealing to the Liberian people. We have trust CDC and now Unity Party. Could you people give chance to ANC to come? The skill the ANC have to employ into the Liberian society. I will close my argument for now. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have that much to say. Maybe we'll continue the discussion tomorrow or for the week, because
yes,
I think people are looking at it from a political standpoint, and that's the problem. That's why you have problem with DeLong. Because if you want to say that the guy is doing it for politics and because he believes election is around the corner, then let him keep playing that kind of a politics that will benefit you. You must stand up. I think that the one thing most of the color agree upon. I don't whether he playing politics or not, but the fact of the matter is he ran on this issue. He made a proposal. He gave a bill. Why you the people, Mr. Mount just said it, why you cannot stand up this bill?
More quickly, tell us something. Let me tell you, Julius, Lofa Julius, rather, and there's a Julius there, but Lofa Julius, quickly, my brother, go ahead. Good evening and good afternoon.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening, Mayor. I just wanted to chime in on the bill that is submitted by Darius DeLon. Okay. I know people are claiming that this bill is something that DeLon is fronting about. Let's look at the positive about this bill, right? When it's passed and DeLon is voted out of office, will he put the bill in his pocket and take it with him? No. It stays right where it is. Are we all not asking for salary reduction? When salary reduction from those clowns that are sitting out there and making mockery of us, if we are to push them to make sure that this bill is passed and we kick them out of office, will we have guns to our heads when we're going to vote to keep them in office? No. Let's look at our own interest. This is not about DeLon. DeLon bring the bill, which we all have been asking for. Support the bill. Let the bill be passed. Reduce the salary of these clowns that are not supporting us. And then we go on to the next group of people, so everybody will not see like the House of Legislature is a place to enrich yourself.
Thank you, my dear brother. Thank you. We will join you hopefully on tomorrow. But more quickly, in passing 30 seconds, we got to go. We are already out of time.
I think Lova Julius said it out. That's it. It's just common sense. Common sense is not so common in our country. Like I said, the reason you struggle with ideas in Liberia because everything is here from the political lens. That's what happened in Liberia. I could care less about who proposed the bill. The fact is, there is something every single person in Liberia agree upon. We don't only need Delon pushing. So if Delon is playing game, I love the kind of game that he's playing because the game will benefit me. You should be calling your lawmaker, your senators, your president, your representative. You should be calling them and putting pressure on them to push the bill forward to make it into a law and make sure that it's across all sectors of government. But no, you don't care. You think Delon want to play politics. All you care about because Delon with the ruling party and you from the other side. That's all. So you won't see the bigger picture. But anyway, thanks for the show, guys.
Well, thank you so much, my dear brother. And let me say good night to all of you, our listeners, our viewers, those of you that are always burning your batteries and your data and making sure that you follow all of our activities. We see you on tomorrow by the grace of God. Good night. I'm John Simei Bonkula. See you on tomorrow by the grace of God.
Yeah, good night. Good night, Mayborn.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talking about podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Qualified people who willing to serve. Blessing that time and that effort are rest. The brothers giving up here and the parents from there. The welcome my life with African.
I lyrical
Master.
Play body so make you I can't Sktv-Lib. Say my journey, Tina get I say my jamo. And you no money, and I yo. And you love
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must survive the lofa and grandmaster.
And I didn't ya to money, and I said ya to money, and I couldn't play ya to money, and I could do ya to money, and I didn't ya to money, and I said ya to money, and I couldn't play ya to money, and I could do ya to money, and I forget now ya to money. That's the TV, and I don't forget it now. So she work on my ya to money. Yeah.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must survive the lofa and grandmaster.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talking for podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Qualified people who willing to serve. The flesh, that time and the efforts are rest. The broadcast we giving are real and the premise from best. The work with my life with us, yeah. From Grandfather Nima to Lufa, from Riverside, River G to Chile, from Grand Crew, Bombing, Kidman, Montserrat, San to Bacalu, from Maryland, Bonk to the Mikey B. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa.